Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is it.
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney, so what?
Well, come along, it's the Friday morning episode, but you get it on a Thursday evening. Early access, if you are a subscriber to our IFS Patreon thing, which gives you all kinds of benefits, such as ad-free, early access, bonus stuff, all that. It's worth doing it. It shows us that you truly love us. Anyway.
I think now the values for Turbo is really gone up since we started doing the Races Rocket episodes on a Friday, the videos, etc.
I don't know if I think we mentioned this on the Races Rocket, but we can exclusively reveal once the Races Rocket series is finished, we will be taking a look at. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at Mr. Silly as a Turbo exclusive. We feel as though that is diveable. Yeah, just some bonus stuff there. Just for just for the people who give us the most money. Basically, that's how it works.
I think that's fucking capitalism. We're not communists here. Do you know what I mean?
No, we're not. We've got kids to feed. Yeah.
We do our work in the community, privately, separately, right?
Which you don't like to talk about.
We don't like to talk about that. This is how we
happens.
make money, you know. Mm-hmm. The great journalists of yore, or entertainers, because let's be honest, we could be classed as both. We break news, but we also offer insight and opinion. And sometimes we provide entertainment, either, consciously or by accident. But I don't see your Andrew Neils or your Charlie Chaplins going around saying they'll do it for nothing.
Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, that's the first entertainer I could think of. First journalist I could think of was... Oh, talking of fucking journalists, did you read a story that Piers Morgan is the best paid journalist in the country?
I wasn't aware of that.
But is he the best journalist in the country? No, he is not. So that's not fair, is it? So I think the least people can do, considering that I am Britain's best journalist, is chip in a few quid so I can somehow compete with Piers Morgan. When Piers Morgan was working in America, remember when he went over and got his own show in America that time? He was in America, and I used to do the Sky Papers in the morning, just once a week. I think I've sort of got in at about, you do 3 hits, as they would call it, 6:40, 7:40, 8:40, then home, right? So there I was on the sofa talking fucking utter cobblers, as usual, right? And Piers Morgan, I don't know what time it is in America, probably like the early hours of the morning, or like late the night before, I suppose. He's fucking tweeting me, right? And Eamon Holmes, who was the host, right? He's watching it. Maybe he was pissed, I don't know, but he's there in New York, probably in his palatial apartment.
Yeah, he'd be up late, wouldn't he? He'd have been at like 22 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, 8 hours. If he was in New York, which I think he was, it would have been 8 hours.
5 hours on the East Coast, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, sorry, 5 hours. Yeah, okay, right. So he's there. I don't know what he's doing. Who knows? And he's like...
I wonder.
Yeah, and he thought, let's see what those fucking dreary cunts back in Blighty are doing these days. And he thought, I'll flick through some British news. And he's like, here they are, fucking losers back in Blighty. What? Let's hear what they're talking about.
Get up early. Get up early while I'm staying up late.
Yeah, and he's gone, I know, I'm going to fucking troll them. So it's a bit of gentle trolling. It wasn't rude or mean. And, I was a bit like, oh, look at Piers Morgan tweet me. I'd never met the bloke before. He said, when I'm back in the country, I want to come on that sofa with you, Eamon, right? And he CC'd me in, and I've gone, well, there's no room for you because I'm on it, right? And he went, and he went, I don't want your graveyard slot, Delaney, right? I thought, fuck off. It's not a graveyard slot. 6:40.
In the morning.
7:40 a.m, 8:40 a.m. That's prime. That's when people are getting
breakfast
up.
telly.
Yeah. They're having their breakfast. They're putting on their pants. They've got the telly on. You're keeping them up to speed with what's going on.
Their Weetabix and butter.
I thought, fuck you, Piers. Right. Then and he ended up coming back with his tail between his legs anyway, didn't he? But now, even though he did a walk off of GMTV. As a result of being on Talk TV, I don't know if that's a success or not, but he is the best paid journalist in the country.
That's
He's on
incredible.
over the course of his contract with Talk TV. It's reported to be worth like 10 million quid.
But it's got no viewers. No one watches it. No one gives a fuck.
It's weird, isn't it?
That's mad.
10 million quid, mate. I suppose it's the kudos. Murdoch. Most of Murdoch's operations.
There isn't any.
No, for them to have him.
For them to have him?
Because he's a very famous person.
He's not, though.
He is famous.
I've said this to you before about people who are like on telly and they haven't got like proper fan bases like what we've got on this podcast.
No, people don't feel the same.
People, they've got like loads of followers on Twitter, but people just follow them because people just go, oh, there's such and such who's on the telly. I'll follow them.
That's true. That's true. What he's got is he's got fame in the traditional sense. What he doesn't have is engagement, which is more valuable. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, he was a big deal when he was on Britain's Got Talent because it was Britain's Got Talent. It wasn't because he was on it. People weren't tuning in to watch him. People weren't tuning in to watch him on Good Morning Britain either. And they're not tuning in to watch him on Talk TV because no one's fucking interested.
Well, he's getting 10 million quid. That's
exactly. Well done to him and his agent.
Exactly. What I would say is that Murdoch's operations are all running at a loss and have been for years.
Yeah.
The Sun runs at a loss. The Times runs at a loss.
Which one?
The Sun, the Sunday Sun.
Oh, the newspaper. Sorry.
You know the Sun, as in the thing in the sky. Apparently, they're working because of that's let's be honest, it's on its last legs, right?
Yeah, it's dying out. Yeah.
For the future, they're working on an electric sun to take its place. Yeah.
Solar powered.
Solar powered. Yeah. It's going to be slightly nearer the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Here's how it's going to work. There's going to say, how far away is the sun from planet Earth? Like, it's a good...
50 miles?
It's a good 50 mile, right? So imagine 40 miles, right, is the new electric sun, right, which will be sponsored, I don't know who, by like Aviva or... So, yeah, who sponsors a lot of things, like Continental Tyres. They do the Champions League, don't they?
Gazprom.
Gazprom, yeah. And... what it is the old sun, legacy sun they call it, right? That, through its power, powers the solar-powered electric sun, right? And then that sun, in turn, generates power to Earth, right? But it's non-toxic. It's a non-toxic
unlike the
power.
legacy sun, which is...
The legacy sun pumps toxic power into the new sun, but the new sun can handle it because it's got a filter built in.
So we'll eradicate skin cancer with the new sun.
And global warming.
What they could do, they could carry on doing that. Do it at 40 miles, do it at 30 miles, do it at 20 miles, 10 miles.
Yeah, because eventually...
Spread them out.
Yeah, and each town and village in the world could have its own sun.
Its own sun.
You could have council sun. No, we're operating off the council sun at the moment. It's quite good. You don't have to pay separate. It's just part of your council tax. It covers the sun, your access to the sun.
That would work because as the original 50-mile sun is beginning to diminish, it'll only reach 10 miles. So then it's like one of those Wi-Fi extender box things that you get.
That's exactly it.
It slings your Wi-Fi on a bit further and a bit further. I've got Wi-Fi over in the garage leading from
I got it in the Vita Modular here. And it's the same account, but it sort of bounces it over, into the Vita
same
Modular.
Principle, but the sun. And what you do is you have a network of micro suns, sponsored obviously, around the planet, one for each town and village, like you've said. Brilliant.
So that's the sun. So that's good news for everyone, for the environment and for the future. But for the Sun, the newspaper, it runs at a loss. So does the Times. All his he's not got any interest in Sky anymore. I don't know how his operations in New York and Australia are doing, but I believe his talk radio stations in Australia are really popular, and they're like one of the few things that are making money. But I think because he's demented, he keeps throwing more and more money at his media operations in the UK.
Well, he thinks he's gone on for like 20 years. He
thinks he can buy his way out of it. So he started he bought Talk Radio when I was working there. Talk Radio and Talk Sport, which I thought was actually a good idea of his. Not Talk Radio, we didn't know at the time. I mean, I genuinely thought, Talk Sport, great. Very perfect acquisition for Murdoch, right? Really good brand, very mainstream, plays the sort of strengths he's already got. huge audience, well run, great. Talk radio was still in its infancy, and I did think to myself, fucking hell, look at Talk radio. I mean, as long as it's got someone like me hosting Drive, it ain't got a chance.
Yeah, it's inexplicable, really, with hindsight.
That's what I thought. I thought, look, I'm having the time of my life doing this. This is
Am I the
great.
best it can do?
I love it. I thought, I'll give it 2 years, then I'll either be booted out or I'll quit, because, you know me, I'll get bored very quick, right?
Yeah.
But I thought, it can't really thrive with me. I mean, if I was on a weekend, Saturday morning doing a zany show, or late at night doing something a bit edgy, fair enough.
Bit weird.
They had me on Drive, mate, and I thought, no chance with the likes of Delaney on this station. If he'd hired me for some consultancy, I would have said to him, first thing you got to do is fucking give me the boot, mate.
Get rid of Delaney.
Yeah.
Who took over? After you?
Eamon Holmes.
Oh, there you go then.
And I was the exec producer. I produced the replacement.
Ah, clever. Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute, mate. Oh, my God. Wait a minute. I've had a fucking message here. I've had the worst sort of message you can get when you're recording a podcast. It's gone, we are on the call whenever you're ready. What the hell?
Are you supposed to be doing something?
Yeah. All right.
It's all right. No problem.
I've got to go.
Just pause it. We'll come back.
We'll pause it and continue.
Stop there. Yeah. All right.
A piss and a snack, and then we'll be back. A piss and a snack.
And we're back after that unexpected interruption. Was it a good thing that you went off to do? Was it enjoyable?
It was a work call that I'd obviously agreed to do at some point, but then not made any note of, which is pretty standard for me. I'll always say yes. Like I'll go, anything. That's fine, and then it comes back as a complete surprise.
Oh, there's your phone buzzing again. Is it another one?
Oh, God. Then there was a message came up and it just said, "Hi, Sam, we're ready on the call whenever you are." And I saw that, and that makes my heart sink. And it was from an unidentified number. So straight away you're like,
detective work.
It must be important because if it was someone who I knew, I'd feel more comfortable in fucking it up. But this is, for me, an unidentified number. In some ways, that's scarier, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and then my eyes flicked over to the clock in the corner of my screen, and it said 7 minutes past 2, and that immediately makes it obvious what's happened. Is that I must have had a call I was supposed to be on at 2 o'clock, and 7 minutes is the classic time
when everyone goes. Better check
that's
on
when
him.
You start to think he's not just late. Like 5 minutes, that's a normal level of lateness.
Yeah.
But 7 minutes, you're starting to think, oh, hang on a minute. And then, of course, you start fucking scrabbling around looking for the link for the Microsoft Teams link that someone sent you. Right? And you're like, where's the Microsoft Teams link? Fucking, you lose all ability to function because you're in a panic. So I was just fucking slapping my fucking sausage hands all over the computer keyboard, shouting, swearing. I just you've got to resend me the link. But in the end, it all went off okay.
That's good. What were we talking about? We were on Murdoch, and
we were having media chats. I
forgot. I think it might have reached its natural conclusion. I don't know.
Yeah,
I forgot what bit we were on about. We were adamant that we're going to have to replace the sun with a series of micro suns.
Yeah,
that are
fueled
powered
by the power of the legacy sun.
Yeah, we should do more science, I think.
We should, yeah. It's a popular science is a thriving sector in the podcast world and the publishing world, and I think who better to make it accessible to the ordinary Burke in the street than you and I?
Yeah, and the listeners.
Yeah, we've got a direct line.
Standard Burkes. Right. What else is happening? They've caught that monkey. But we never recovered that in the first place. So
they caught the monkey.
Yeah, they caught it. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
Fucking hell! When did this happen?
Well, just today. I had a quick look on the BBC News website before we started, see what's going on, and I always look at the top 10 most read stories.
Yeah.
Because that's, let's say, take the temperature of the nation kind of thing via the BBC News.
Yeah.
And this monkey, it's been caught. that's the story today. That story is not on the top 10 of most watched or most read stories. While it's on the run, everybody wants a piece. Everyone's into it.
Yeah.
As soon as it's caught, no one gives a fuck. Who really cares about that monkey, Sam?
Well, actually, I care, and I'm still reeling from the news because I didn't know it had been caught, and I was really invested in it, and so was my mum. And we were like, she was texting me a lot about it. In fact, her first text to me about it was she knows me well enough to know that she didn't need to reference it being a monkey. I just got a text from her a couple of days ago going,
did the
they'll
text
never
just
catch...
say, seen it?
No, it just went, they'll never catch the cunt. And I knew immediately who she meant.
That's a strong indicator of a really strong relationship.
Yeah.
That's
I was like, I fucking hope not. I said, because I invested way too much in that fucking prisoner who escaped from Wandsworth in the summer only for him to be caught. I said, and I was absolutely fucking gutted, you know.
Well,
and,
it felt like, to me, it felt like a small-scale version of my favourite ever escape, which was Hercules the bear in Scotland.
Yeah. But a monkey's
1980.
different, mate. Like, you look at that terrorist, he's a human. A human's quite easy to catch, right? They're cumbersome. Bears, huge animals, easy to spot, easy to catch. But a monkey, I said to my mum, I said, I don't think they'll catch this monkey. I said, because
they're slippery.
Yeah, they're slippery, they're agile, they're cunning, and they are cheeky. They're cheeky as hell. And you put all those things together, they can't be caught. And I saw one of the best ever All Right Cunts picture yesterday because I was looking it up. I've been, that's why I'm reeling now because I've had a busy day. I didn't know it had been caught. So I've been really like taking a big interest in it. And so I thought I'll have a little check. And the first headline I saw was monkey caught. And I was like, fuck. But then when I double checked, it said monkey caught on drone camera. Right? So it's like, no, you haven't caught him. You've got a picture of him. And that means fucking nothing. But in this picture, if you look it up, Andy, it's a blurry picture taken by a drone from above. And it's just some bushes. And the monkey's little face is just poking out through some bushes. And he's giving it, all right, cunts. What's that you got there? Camera on a fucking helicopter, is it? Oh, yeah. A lot of good that is. See ya.
Back into the woods.
A lot of good that'll fucking do you when I'm up a fucking tree.
Well, he was spotted in a garden of a house.
All right, no, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I'm just in your garden for a little bit.
I've just come to help myself some tomatoes like that Royal Monk did. I'm following his plan.
I'm just having a few tomatoes. Don't you worry yourself, sweetheart. Go on, you go back inside. I'm not stopping.
Don't make any fucking
I can't
phone
stop.
calls.
I have to be on the move constantly. I'm on the run. You see, you might have heard of me. I've been in all the papers.
Keep it to yourself, or I will come back for you. He was spotted in a garden at a house near the park that he escaped from. So he's kind of just been going round in circles for 5 days, I think. There wasn't any strategy to like.
Why didn't he fucking try and go somewhere mental?
He wasn't like
gone to the Isle of Wight
or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, he just thought, I'll stag around here. It's a nice enough area. Why exhaust myself? They'll never catch me wherever I go because I'm a monkey. I'm too clever for them.
You'd think he'd try and head back to Japan because he was a Japanese macaque. You'd think he'd maybe go to, I don't know, Edinburgh Airport or something like that. But
he'd have to get to an airport. He'd have to somehow get hold of a fake passport and then like disguise himself as a human by wearing a trench coat, a trilby hat, and some spectacles, and carrying a rolled up newspaper. Hello, sir. What flight are you checking in on? Sorry, did you say Tokyo? Okay, yes, that's fine. And what's the purpose of your visit? Mind my own business. Oh, all right, fair enough.
He's been he was nearby to the Highland Wildlife Park at Kincraig near Aviemore. Holidayed in Aviemore when I was a kid. Brilliant, loved it. And the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland's drone team observed the animal until he was shot with a tranquilizer dart and taken back to the park.
I don't like that. Like,
that's not fair, is it?
I just feel like that's not fair. Yeah, it's not catching him fair and square.
Yeah.
Because I thought the only chance they've got is a tranquilizer dart. They'll never actually be able to lay their hands on this fucking
massive
animal.
net would have been the humane way of doing it, and the fair way of doing it.
Yeah, I just think you can catch anyone
cheating.
with a fucking tranquilizer dart, can't you?
Catch anyone with a tranquilizer dart. It's just not fair.
No.
Yeah, they got a phone call about 10 o'clock this morning from a member of the public who said they had spotted the animal in their garden helping himself to a bird feeder.
What a fucking what fucking grass did that? Who was it? A man going by the name of Mr. E. Howe, Edward Howe, Esquire, right, who was holidaying in the region, right?
Yeah.
Fucking. Who's done a fucking Eddie Howe? Oh, there's the monkey. I bet it's the escaped one off the news. I'm going to call the authorities. You absolute cunt.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
Oh, there's footage of him with the bird feeder on the BBC News website.
I'll look
There's
that up
footage
now.
of him holding onto the bird. He's in the garden.
All right, what are you fucking
He's
looking
in
at?
the
I'm just
garden.
helping myself to a bit of fucking bird feed, ain't I?
He's down next to the fence. He's picking stuff up off the ground to try and eat it. Because obviously he's starving. It says here he went back to the zoo and had a good feed after they cleaned him up. So he'll like that. But
Fucking hell, though.
yeah, monkeys don't understand captivity.
Who on earth would grass a monkey?
And then he goes
Do you
round
know
the
what I
back.
mean? The
He's gone round
mentality of these people.
He's gone round the back of what looks like a hot tub. So someone called Carl Nagel is the grass.
A bloke called Carl Nadel who owns a fucking hot tub. Well, that's everything you need to know about the bloke.
And
Of
then
course, he's a
there's- and then
grass, and he's a fucking
sitting-
sex weirdo as well.
The monkey's sitting on the top of the fence, nibbling away at the bird feeder. Keeps looking round because he knows he's going to get captured. He knows he's.
He's like, at this
on the
stage, I
run.
don't care.
Yeah.
Because this bird
give me
feed
these
is,
fucking nuts.
to me personally, now having not eaten that well for a few days, this bird feed tastes to me like fucking caviar probably tastes to you.
Yeah.
Or like, well, what's your favourite food, Carl? Carl goes, I like red Leicester, melted on a piece of white sliced. Well, all right. So that, you would say that's like a transcendent snack. Hey, I like it. Well, that's what this bird feed tastes to me now, because I'm that fucking hungry. And I'll sit here eating it, and even if, I can tell you've grasped me, but I don't care. I do not care. If they come and shoot me now with a tranquilizer dart, I will die a happy monkey.
It's this great footage. Have a look at it once we finish recording.
I'm looking at it.
It says,
I love his face. It's so red.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
Which would have been his undoing a little bit.
Possibly.
Because
says
it's easy to spot. But like, I can see. Do you know what? He's so lovable.
He may have escaped while trying to avoid a fight with others in the group of 37 that he lives in. It says the troop is in the midst of its breeding season, and keepers said tensions could sometimes run high.
It
So
was
you've got a lot of
getting.
horny
It
monkeys.
was getting a bit fucking spicy for my taste, and I'm just like, do you know what? I'm too old for this. I'm off. I'm not interested.
Very simple solution. All Superdrug need to do is get in touch and send up a load of them wanking machines.
Wank machines.
And chuck them in.
But if you're listening, Superdrug, and it'd be
You know
great
you are.
PR opportunity that Superdrug send 20 wank machines up to Highland Monkey Zoo to help deal with the fucking tense
Horny
atmosphere.
season.
Look at this
brilliant.
man. This monkey, I just want to cuddle him.
Yeah, he'd have your fucking face off.
I know he would. That's the problem, innit?
That's the problem. We've
Yeah,
been conditioned
like
to think these things are cute.
So
but
many
they're not.
things in life you want. You want them, but you know ultimately
It'll have your
they'll
face off.
destroy you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, he's probably back where he needs to be. If he's going around the place in the woods and in gardens trying to survive off bird feeders, it's for the best that he's back where he lives with his pals. So, it's been fun. But I know you're very pro-freedom and you
I'm
feel constrained
totally
by society's
pro-freedom.
rules and regulations.
I don't want to be fucking shackled in a zoo, and nor does he. Just looking through my mum's messages here, I'm going to have to break this to her if she doesn't know already. They won't catch him. He's too smart for those cunts. Although I am worried he may miss his mates. Kiss.
Is this your mum saying this? This is all your
Yeah.
mum's contributions?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. This is my mum's original one was what sparked the conversation was they'll never catch the cunt, right? And then I sort of was like, I knew what she's on about. So we started chatting. And last night she just went, they won't catch him. He's too smart for those cunts. Worried he may miss his mates. Kiss.
Yeah.
Nice for her to put a kiss at the end.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, you can't catch a monkey. And she's written, if he turns up in my garden, unlikely. So, but she goes, if he turns up in my garden, I'll give him a mighty feast and hide him from the cunts. So again, she's just constantly, she doesn't, who these cunts are, she doesn't know, but she just knows there are authority figures who are seeking to fucking capture and contain this monkey.
Fucking hell. Fair enough. Well, she'll be sad
poor
now.
bastard. She will be sad. After this, I'll tell her. Her, and I'll break it to her gently.
Yeah, try and talk her down because she'll not be happy. What else has got? Oh, you were going to talk about Gladiators, which I've got nothing to input into this because I think Gladiators is Tory telly.
Did you never watch it back in the day?
Never watched it back in the day, and I think it was because it had come from America. It had come from American Gladiators, which just looked like the worst kind of fucking horrible, thick-headed American telly. And then I wasn't interested in the British. I was never a fan of John Fashanu either, so there was nothing there for me.
It's thick-headed, all right. You're right there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I like it.
And that's its fucking selling point. Yeah, I get it.
I'm its target. As a thick-headed television viewer, it was right up my street then, and it is now.
So it's back on.
It's on BBC now? This time, but they haven't changed it at all in terms of the format or the atmosphere. They've changed the host, so they've got Bradley Walsh, but then they've got his son, who's called also something beginning with B, like Ben. But
Barney,
there's a very peculiar dynamic between them.
I've said before, I'm a huge fan of Bradley Walsh. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great. And this dynamic between them both reminds me of, I guess, Frank Lampard Sr. and Frank Lampard Jr., right? Because Frank Lampard Sr., very old school, wasn't he? Like, just straightforward, very old school man. And he's done well for himself. He's dragged himself up by the bootstraps. He's done well for himself. He's met a lovely lady. They've had a son. They've decided to call him Frank Jr. And because they've been lucky enough to earn a little bit of extra money, they've decided to send him to Brentwood School in Essex, which is
private school.
a private school with many famous alumni, including Noel Edmonds. And that is actually a true story. And so they sent Frank Jr. there.
I make no apologies for it. We've worked hard. We've been lucky. We want to do the very best for our boy that we can.
And who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to do the very best by them? In our position. We do feel lucky. But, as I say, we have worked very hard. So sometimes in this life, you make your own luck. Anyway, we've sent him off to this school. And we thought he'd get a great education. They've got wonderful sporting facilities. Like I say, some fantastic alumni. And they've got a very prestigious curriculum, I believe they call it. And he will even be studying subjects such as Latin, which we like to think, my wife and I like to think that he could perhaps elevate beyond the confines of the social class system and perhaps have a better life and a better outlook and a greater sophistication than perhaps even myself and my wife do.
We're hoping that he may become a banker in the city or something like that.
But, perhaps a lawyer, or perhaps he could have his own business. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But as it transpired, he ended up becoming a footballer like me, which I suppose could have happened whatever school we'd sent him to. And on top of that, we did have some regrets because although, of course, we still do love Frank and we're very proud of his achievements in football, he did turn out a bit of a, how would I put it, a bit of a cunt. He's a bit of a cunt. I love him. No, don't get me wrong. Don't make any difference to the way I feel about him emotionally. But there's no two ways about it. He's a bit cunty.
I struggle to relate to him one-to-one sometimes.
Yeah, he's up himself. He's pompous. He can be a bit of a prick. And I think that's because of the school we sent him to. So I do have some regrets because I now realise that those schools are basically wanker factories, right? And so I don't know. I'm not saying that Barney Walsh is a wanker like Frank Lampard. No way. He seems like a nice lad, but they're just very different. Mind you, if you had me and my dad present Gladiators, you'd think, fucking hell, you wouldn't be able to work that out. You'd be thinking, how are they father and son? It's really weird. Yeah. One of them's really into it and keeps running around and pulling his trousers down inexplicably and shouting Gladiators. And the other one's sitting there in a chair with his arms folded, rolling his eyes and saying, and criticising everything. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that would be good. I'd watch that.
Barry and Sam Delaney present Gladiators. Yeah, so, it would be good.
What's so good about it then? The Gladiators.
It's really exciting. And also, they've got a baddie on it called Viper. Like, you'll be aware of the baddie from the 90s, even if you didn't watch it, because his name was Wolf.
Yeah, I remember Wolf, yeah.
He was a bad guy, Andy. He was a really bad guy. And he was bad to the bone. But now they brought it back, and I was like, great, Gladiators is coming back. I've already shown my son in the past the original Gladiators on YouTube, so he was familiar with the format and he was excited. So he settled down to watch episode 1, and I was like, all I hope is that this time they've made sure they haven't got someone with the same rotten attitude as Wolf, because he used to ruin it for everyone else, because he'd break the rules, he would be aggressive, he'd be basically plain mean.
You've said they've done it exactly the same as last time, so why wouldn't there be a Wolf equivalent this time round?
Well, they have. One slipped through the net in the casting. Most of the people are nice, and they're aspirational figures as well. They've got great bodies, shiny muscles.
Tories.
They're can-do people, right?
Tories.
But then this guy comes along, and he's calling himself Viper.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really talk much. And he's got this sort of special move he does to the camera where he sort of slaps his own elbow like this. And I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but it's very aggressive. Very aggressive. I don't like it. I don't like him. And what really winds me up is that he's broken the rules several times. Mark Clattenburg's the ref, and he even...
Mark Clattenburg?
Yeah, he even squared up to Mark Clattenburg on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Because he was cheating. He was hitting the other contestant before the whistle even went. So Clattenburg had words, and he sort of like almost pushed Clattenburg away, which is unacceptable. But what really annoys me, Andy, is when it was on ITV, that was one thing. But the licence fee is going on this. And this guy is not a guy who sets a good example to the many children watching the show. So every week I'm like, boo! When he comes on, like, Viper, boo!
That's what's supposed to happen.
Get him off.
He's the heel. He's the pantomime
I've written
baddie.
a letter. I've written a letter. I've said I don't want this guy on TV. I love Gladiators, but get Viper off. He's disgusting. He's just a disgrace. And anyway, I was watching it, and guess who I saw? And it cuts to the audience, and you see the audience baying for blood, right, when Viper's on. And I thought, there's a familiar face. And young Josh Cluderet,
yes.
Former colleague of ours.
Of course, yeah.
Josh is in the audience with a sign saying something abusive about Viper.
Oh, brilliant.
Right? And he is shouting his head off at Viper. And I was like, going to Len, my mate Josh! I know him! Josh is a mysterious... In fact, real fans from the start, right, of this venture, Top Flight Time Machine, may remember that we did a couple of episodes of News Thing as a podcast. Yeah. And Josh did a couple of bits on that. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And
there was a 2-man production team on it.
Yeah.
We didn't need.
And I haven't seen Josh for a while, which is a shame because he's a good mate. I really like him. And I thought, fucking hell, look. Josh is at Gladiators and he's shouting his head off at Viper.
Brilliant.
And I was really happy and I was really proud. I was showing off to my son. My son was super impressed that I knew someone. And I said he probably is working on the show. He works in TV. He's probably working on the show and he's just there padding it out. But I texted him. Josh is very hard to contact because he's one of these guys who doesn't really use his phone. He doesn't have WhatsApp. He doesn't have social media. He sort of go check his emails twice a year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, I think. But
Yeah, definitely.
I couldn't do it, but I've always sort of thought that's
Something to
pretty cool.
aspire to, isn't it?
Yeah, he's sort of like, I have no need for constant human interaction because I've got my own shit going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I find that I really look up to it. But so I thought I'll never get in touch with him. But your only hope really is to send him an old-fashioned text message on the actual text thing, you know.
Yeah.
So I sent him that, and a day later he just got back and he went, "Yeah, it was the atmosphere was absolutely electric." And I can tell you that they had to cut out a lot of what I was shouting at Viper on account of it being a family show.
Yeah.
So then I already had a huge amount of respect for Josh. And now I find out that although he works in TV, he had nothing to do with the show. He'd literally gone along on his own,
Yeah.
right, to watch Gladiators being recorded just for something to do. That's the measure of the man. And I know you don't like the show.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but he wanted to go there, and he wanted to, and also he wanted to. He speaks for a lot of people. That this Viper guy, he shouldn't be doing he shouldn't be behaving in this way publicly, Andy.
But Josh isn't the only one speaking out against Viper in the crowd, is he? Everyone must be booing him.
Yeah,
and
no,
all that
loads
kind
of people
thing.
are. But I just
Yeah.
respect him that he's gone. A lot of the other people are there supporting various like contenders, as they're called, right?
Right.
Josh wasn't there supporting anyone. He was there, I think, just to protest against Viper, which I thought was wonderful.
If anyone listening to this does work in television and does work on Gladiators, and they could get Sam and his son into the crowd, get in touch with us, because I think that should happen. That's what needs
I'd
to
love
happen.
to take my son to Gladiators. I think they film it in Sheffield.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I don't want to talk about Gladiators anymore. Is that all right?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Should we do some football
What was the other thing
predictions?
we were going to talk about?
No, we
I'm
ain't
sure
got
there was
time.
something
We haven't
else.
got time.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wrap it up, mate.
Because,
Bang.
we have got to do some football predictions, and then I have
Bang.
to go somewhere. Because we were delayed by 40 minutes.
Sorry.
Don't you have to be somewhere at 3 as well? We're recording this
Yeah,
about 3.
well, I had to go and meet my son, but my wife realised the delay, luckily, and texted. She saw me in the Vita Modular, and I think she's now cancelled something. And
Flailing.
she's gone to meet him instead.
All right, okay. Let's do some
I've got his
predictions
parents'
then.
evening tonight as well. His
Oh,
first
good luck with
one
that.
at big school, so that'll be interesting. Might be a bit. How do you approach your parents' evening, Andy? Punch
with
the
it.
biggest teacher you can see in the room.
Smack them. Yeah, give them, spark them out. Yeah. As soon
Do
as
they
go
all
in.
sit at your school? Do they all sit in one big hall, and you're all in there mixed together
Yeah,
like a prison
you have
yard,
to
or
just-
do you have to go to
there's-
different rooms?
Yeah, it's like that, and there's not even. We went last week actually. It was my
Yeah.
son's kind of last GCSE one.
Yeah.
There wasn't like an appointment system. There wasn't any kind of
What?
sort of deli style ticket taking with numbers on.
Right.
It was just a free for all. You just kind of hang about and
Chaos.
chaos.
Do
Chaos.
you
yeah.
ever get into do you ever get a bit moody in the queue? Like, no, we were next, or anything
It
like
nearly
that.
did. It
Yeah.
nearly did. My ex-wife was kind of up for it last
Right.
week because
You
there were
had
some
to
people
calm
who
her down a bit.
weren't sitting in the seating areas. They were standing, and they just come along and
Yeah.
stood when in fact they should have been sitting really.
Yeah, I don't like all that.
So, but it was all right. We asserted ourselves and got in there. It was good.
What I'll do is I'm gonna play it. I am gonna take my Stony, but I'm gonna wear it under a jacket.
And then
And
take it off if you need to.
I hope that I won't have to take my jacket
Yeah.
off, but it'll be there if I need to spark anyone.
I was actually recognised by my kid's geography teacher,
Oh,
whose husband is a big fan of mince.
oh my God!
no
I hope
mention
that
of
gets him some extra credit.
Well, I thought, yeah, it's going to affect his scores, surely. No mention of time machine. But I can't remember everything.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Football predictions.
Yeah,
Ready?
yeah.
Here's the update on the scores from earlier in the week, which I didn't give us. You got 2 points last weekend. I got 1. Resultspot got 1. So you're still 8 points behind Resultspot, and I'm 11 points behind Resultspot. So it's
catchable.
It can be done. Now think, concentrate, focus, for fuck's sake. Here we go.
Yeah.
Everton versus Spurs.
Oh God. I think Spurs are going to win this. I think Everton 0, Spurs 2.
I'll go for Everton 1, Spurs 2. Burnley versus Fulham. I'll go first on this one. Burnley, don't know, bit of a shambles. I think 2-0 to Fulham.
Burnley 2, Fulham 3.
Fucking hell, he's gone for another one of his 3-2 away wins.
Predicting
Manchester
out
United.
loud.
Manchester United versus West Ham United.
Man U 1, West Ham 2.
Wild. I think this will be 1-0 to Manchester United. Middlesbrough versus Sunderland, high noon on Sunday.
Whoa!
On the telly.
The Mince Derby.
The Mince
Talking of
Derby.
Mince.
It is indeed. Now, I'll go first on this, and I think Middlesbrough will win this 2-0.
I'm going to say 2-2.
Whoa, I hope it is. That'll be fun. Finally, Newcastle United, boo, versus Luton Town.
Ooh. These are all the first games of the season.
They are.
In the Premier League.
Yeah, reversed.
They're repeating the first days of the season. Okay, I'm going to say... Yeah. So, what did Newcastle do in the
No,
league?
they weren't.
Didn't
This was quite recent, because Luton beat Newcastle 1-0, because I predicted that. The games in midweek were the games in midweek were the first game of the season.
Yeah, okay. So, Newcastle versus Luton, I am going to say 2-0 to Newcastle.
I think it will be 3-0 to Newcastle. That's it then. That's the predictions. That's the episode. Enjoy your weekends, everyone. And we'll be back after the weekend with more of this drivel. And that's that.
That's that.